Everyone, and welcome to a preview video for the Suzuka Grand Prix 2011. Formula 1 Suzuka should be good. I'm going to be going to it, and it's my first Grand Prix. It's my first Grand Prix experience. My dad has been to Hungary for the 1997 and 99 Hungarian Grand Prix, won by Jack Villeneuve and Mika Häkkinen respectively. So he never forgets it. It's fantastic. I've never seen a Grand Prix before. I'm 21. I'm almost a lifelong fan and a complete petrol head. I've been to a lot of more amateurish events around Britain. But Formula 1 is a very expensive sport to participate in and spectate at, and as I outlined in my other video regarding Japan, I don't particularly like the Silverstone Grand Prix, despite having not been to it. But I expect and imagine that although a lot of the circuit has improved fundamentally, and the atmosphere is probably great at all-time high, two British champions, world champions at that. It should be quite good, but the British crowd will be all into McLaren and very anti-Alonso and Ferrari, and I'm a big Alonso fan. I find it difficult to cope with that. Also, I quite like, not cheering exactly for the underdog supporting Alonso, but I quite like being in the minority of fans, and cheering him on is great, and I enjoy the rivalry between him and Hamilton. Got a little bit too far perhaps in 2007, but both excellent drivers, excellent. It's what the sport needs, and Formula 1 I think has lacked a bit this year because especially Vettel has completely run away with the championship to such an extent. He'll either wrap it up in Singapore, because he has over 100-point margin, which is huge. But if the title battle continues, it might even be decided in Japan, so that would be quite good. First Grand Prix, it's the first chance to see all of the drivers. I've only ever seen Jenson Button in real life, as you can see by my previous videos. So that's quite big for me. 5 world champions on the grid, and although there isn't necessarily a title to be decided completely, it's just a case of Sebastian getting. I think if he doesn't win in Singapore, he'll only need a couple of points. So it's going to be over. But it might be nice to see a champion crowned. So be a lot of excitement there, and it'll be in Japan, and of course Japanese national hero. Well, he'll be the fan favourite at least. Kobayashi, so he drove well there last year, and on past form, Suzuka is well, it's a driver's track. It's a fan and driver favourite. But in the last couple of years, Sebastian Vettel has dominated, so I'm expecting him to get the hat-trick and get a third win there. Last couple of years he has rather driven away with it, which is okay. I mean, I don't mind. To be honest, I would prefer to see one of my favourite drivers win, of course. But I think any race will be exciting, just because the novelty and the sound and the noise and the excitement will be such that the result will be less. It'll be a bonus, of course. Michael Schumacher, great to see him before he retires again. It's still up in the air whether he'll do another year. Hopefully he will, but it could be one of the last few opportunities to see Michael Schumacher race. Race in 20 years, but need to see him. A lot of excellent drivers right now. It's a great field of cars. It's a shame the championship's slightly if it was going down to the wire, it'd be much better. But of course, we didn't know that. You have to put these tickets in advance, and we were going to go anyway. It's an opportunity not to be missed, and we'll be on foreign turf, so to speak, and it'll be great to be a minority. For example, Sporting Jensen going away on away turf, cheering with the Union Jack flag, for example, and cheering our man on, and really get to see behind the scenes, because I've hardly ever missed a race on television, but for the first time I'll see it firsthand. I've seen the odd F1 car going around the streets of Manchester, for example, and in the past I've seen a Renault going around Donington Park, and that's one car, and that's been very exciting. I'm going to see 24 cars on the track, V8 loud as hell, and it's going to be great. We are situated in Grandstand E, and that is maybe the third or fourth corner. Suzuka doesn't really have a back straight. If it did, you'd perhaps describe it as the straight after spoon leading into the 130R. But we're in the first few corners. It's a slow section, which I don't think will garner much overtaking, but it will. The cars will be going reasonably slowly, and we should. I think I've driven the track in Grand Prix. I'm on the official game of Formula 1, and I reckon there's a bit of an incline, and I think it'll be a great area in terms of the car sounds. You'll be able to see them going reasonably slowly. There might not be much incident or overtaking, but what I'm thinking is on the Friday there'll be a few practice sessions and maybe even some support formulas, but on the Friday is a really good day to wander around some of the other areas of the track. I'm not sure we'll be able to get into the complete paddock area because they have various levels of pass. The more you pay, the more you see. So if you've got sort of a very expensive pass as a spectator, you can have a look around some of the garages and pit lane. We've got a moderately cheap ticket, however very good value for money, I think, and we'll still get to see a hell of a lot, hopefully. Drivers might do some kind of parade. We might even see them. Hopefully they'll get some kind of autograph. That'd be a great bonus. But who knows? But it'll be great cheering on. Someone like Jensen, or in my case Alonso, or whoever. It should be a fun atmosphere. Kobayashi isn't in the championship picture, but he'll be very much supported. The Japanese Formula 1 fans are very passionate, very always have a fantastic turnout, so that should be good. Maybe problematic in terms of our route to and from the Grand Prix. If it's oversubscribed and over popular, then well, we got our tickets, so they didn't sell out, at least at the time of our purchase. However, it'd be very busy, so it's swings and roundabouts. Hopefully get some merchandise. I've already got a little bit, but I think I will be, for once, in a free spending mood. I'll be very keen to get some merchandise should I see something really quite good. But very good. And despite the championship being over, I think we should still see some very good racing this year. The rule changes have allowed much greater overtaking, with the KERS system introduced from 2009, and also the DRS system, which I think has worked. And I don't care if it's slightly artificial overtaking; it's overtaking, and it's I think it's a decent balance. And the Pirelli tyres, of course, have been a big factor also. Very good. I welcome it completely. I hope, I'm not entirely sure, I think I read on a Formula 1 sort of fan site that Pirelli were taking the soft and medium compound tyres. I hope they take soft and super soft. Just give them no rubber at all. I want them to make 1,000 pit stops. I want it to be very action packed. I think soft and super soft makes sense. But it is quite a hard wearing track on tyres. Will it be a wet race? Last year, 2010, qualifying was completely rained off and cancelled, or at least postponed until the Sunday morning. I rather hope that doesn't happen for a couple of reasons. First of all, I will be in the rain, and although that means possibly more excitement, potentially greater racing, and more unpredictable results, I'm going to be sat in the rain for hour upon hour upon hour, and I don't think my grandstand has a particularly, either it doesn't have a roof, or if it does, it's not permanent, and is it's probably not going to be great if you're in the wet rain for 10 hours. I've looked at my ticket, and also it says that I can expect some support races for many hours on each day, on Friday, Saturday and the Sunday, which is superb. And if it's rained off, then it's disappointing. I'm glad I didn't go last year for that very reason. Also, we won't be camping in and around the circuit. We will in fact be staying in a sort of hostel type hotel kind of place, which is situated about 30 miles away in Nagoya, which will be, I reckon, sort of an hour and a half commute each day, and of course night. So I'm sure we'll figure it out, and by the second time of doing so we'll be fine. But it will mean that on the Sunday morning before the race, and Saturday too, but especially Sunday morning, if the qualifying is postponed, similarly to last year, we'll have to get there even more early on the Sunday. It might mean it's all very sort of pressured and rushed. So I would quite like a blisteringly hot Friday. Have a good look around the pits, see the cars. Well, see the cars in their full glory, going as fast as possible. Have a good look around and see them all going for it. The Saturday, I don't want any races or qualifying cancelled. I want to see perhaps just very cool conditions. For example, I don't know who that would benefit amongst the teams necessarily, but I think it would change it up and might throw a bit of a curveball into the situation, whilst we remain dry, albeit not, well, at least not wet, and should set up an interesting grid. Hopefully the Red Bulls will just have a disaster and won't qualify anywhere near the front, because I don't want them running away with it at all. And in the race, well, once it's the race, I don't mind. Give us some rain, preferably starting dry and drizzling the lap 2 or 3, and that's on and off for the first 20 minutes, and then a flurry of rain sort of 3/4 through after their final pit stops, and you think the order's established, and then there's another panic towards the pits, and the order is all over the place. And ultimately I'd quite like either a Jensen Button win and Fernando Alonso win, or we can dream a Michael Schumacher win. It's going to be great to see everybody. Rubens Barrichello before he retires, it could be one of the final opportunities to see him. There's talk of Kimi Räikkönen joining the team next year at Williams. It's very much rumour and speculation at the moment, but it should be it's an interesting prospect, and it would be nice to see him race, but he won't be racing with Suzuka. In terms of predictions for the race, I mean, I can only see a Red Bull on pole, because they have in the preceding 13 Grand Prix had a Red Bull on pole.